Do I hear a motion, we accept them as printed?
So moved.
Motion by Councilman Cox, and I hear a second.
One second.
Second by Councilman Skeen, any discussions? Any discussions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Carried, thank you. Am I correct, no public hearing tonight, City Manager?
No, sir.
Okay, I noticed on the agenda it says no visitor presentation. We did say that we couldn't have a meeting last night for lack of a quorum. So we did tell the people that showed up last night to speak that they would have the opportunity to show up tonight to speak. Is anybody here that was here last night to speak? Ms. Harris, you?
I think we really discussed it, unless y'all just
Parking lot stuff.
parking lot stuff.
They got a good bit done on that today and all, and so just a little bit more, we'd like to look into it and maybe by the end of next month, or if you want to, later in the month, check with our city manager later in the week or sometime.
Yes, sir.
We'll see. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
I think that was pretty much your votes here last. Okay, so no visitor presentation. Correct, no unfinished business. Okay, think looking good. Next item, new business, consider resolution 2017-2 to adopt the fiscal year 2018 annual budget. We'll take action on that tonight. Again, I want to thank everybody for a very good and thorough, kind of lengthy retreat that we had, but everything went good, and I think we got stuff worked out. And,
Yep, go ahead.
okay, so we got that worked out, but I do want to thank our city manager. We did have the proposed budget presented to us in a timely manner, and we all did have time to look over it. Now, am I correct that we can vote to approve this with the quorum that we have today? That's right. Okay. Which I've already talked to Michelle, she's good with it, so. Paul, do I hear a motion that we adopt the fiscal year 2018 annual budgets been presented to us?
Make that motion, Mr. Mayor.
Do I hear a second?
One second.
Second, I got a motion by Councilman Cox, second by Councilman Skeen. Any discussion?
Yeah, just briefly, Mr. Mayor, and
Okay.
the manager can probably clear this up. With the budget, so far as what's the sliding scale if we have to amend or change? Because we know in any budget, things do arise from time to time. We might have to make adjustment. In other words, we want to make sure we're not voting on in concrete, nothing in here can ever be changed till next year. So you can talk about that just a little bit.
I think we can't change it because we've had to do it last, was it year before last or last year we had to go in and make some changes.
Last year I wouldn't know about, however, this year I will tell you that it is a fluid document. It's simply a expense versus revenue. However you move the expenses versus the revenue, it really doesn't matter, just as long as it all adds up at the end of the day. Also, there's a change request that's going to be processed through the city clerk regarding how the budget is changed, and it's a formal process. That's why you have the line item numbers, and you go line item from one to another, and so on, and you can track those expenses as it goes. So, I mean, at any given time, the city council can track it, or at any given time, and this is the process that we're working towards. And the proving ground is simply the fact that your audit will be in on June 30th, and there'll be a nice presentation for the council meeting when it does come up. But to answer your question, in sum, yes, it can be changed. It is a fluid document.
That's all I have, Mr. Mayor, because I want to thank the manager and all of us that are here, including Ms. Shaw, in the budget retreat and the new line item that it's kind of going to be new for us, but easier to use. So I want to thank the manager for that, because now we can pinpoint, even with our own council funding part. And that's why I wanted to know if it could be some changes that it can be.
Speaking on the budget, I do want to thank the attorney. He did give up his time and show up at the retreat, help us out on a few questions and a few things that want to thank him as kind of echo with Councilman Watkins. Another thing is on the agendas. I know it's turned into a little more paperwork, a little more time consuming, but our city manager's come up with a way now that everything, all expenditures, and correct me if I'm wrong here, is that it's done by the line item budget now instead of by department. Instead of
Well, for
everything
example-
put into a department, it's by line item.
Well, for example, I mean, let's just take, Miss Kathleen has a copy of the budget, is, let's say, turn to page 8 right quick, if you don't mind. I just think,
I haven't got
it just
to it
came up.
yet.
It just came up. It wasn't like, this isn't a quiz.
Yeah, I ain't got to, so go ahead.
All right, for example, you've got revenues, general government, and then you take the top numbers on the top, right?
Okay.
Well, now, since we do have QS1 and so on, all of these values, since you all have passed the budget, are gonna be entered into QS1. And it's gonna automatically compute how it comes out of the budget. All department heads are now required to fill out an expenditure report, and that expenditure report has to line up with that line item. Is you cannot spend money if you don't have a number associated with it.
Okay.
So for example, without dragging this out, is the last, 6 numbers, 311, 100 on the top line? On the revenue side, it better show up as a revenue for real property current year. And then if you'll go, let's go a little bit deeper into it, just for fun, is page 10, administration. Y'all know this. And it's just, I'm doing this for the public, it's not for the council, they extensively understand this. Is that wages and administration, okay, top line, first line, 511100. Okay, every expenditure that comes out of that line item will be reflected in the budget, and it will deduct its own self from the software that we have right now.
Okay.
So it will keep up with the accounting, and what I'm hoping to do is what I told y'all when I got here, is that monthly, you get some sort of progress report on how this thing is reflected. And if you all decide to change the budget at any given time, which you can, is that you go, look here from, say for example, dues and fees and administration, you want to move somewhere else, you can do so.
So what we've got now is an actual flowing, living budget that we can track. It's going to track itself.
That's
Every
right.
time somebody has an attachment to that budget, it will be showed and reflected. So
That's
there'll be
right.
guessing games as to where we are and where's the money. It's going to be right there, black on white, where it is and what it is.
That's right, from a revenue side, also you can track revenues on one side and you can track expenses on the other side. And hopefully, over time, we'll be able to pinpoint this thing down to percentages as it goes per year. So for example, if you're in the middle of the year and at 90%, we have a problem. Right, does that make sense?
Yes,
sir.
Yes, Houston, we need to call it Houston right quick. And it will,
My ears.
and it will sort itself out. And what it'll take is you're gonna have to take, the revenues have to equal the expenses, and currently, we're in good shape.
Okay. Any more discussion on the adoption of the budget?
I'd like to thank the city manager as well for the fabulous job he's done in making a working document. This is what the city should have had many years ago, and he's done a great job. And we'll know where we are at all points in time, as well as the department heads will know where they are. Whether there's money to spend or not, they'll know it.
And it should be, even for the council, it should be on demand for you. So if you have a question, it's on demand. It should be able to just spit it out, here you go, day to day.
And I'll echo what Council Cox said, definitely would help, because even without council, in prior years, well, we won't have it this time for sure, because all of the training and travel that we have will be logged in. And it appeared, some in the past that, whoa, we didn't travel that much. but it showed up on our line item. This process, not bulletproof, but we'll know exactly how much we spent as the year goes along. Is that correct?
Well, what I did is I explained to Ms. Kathleen how this was working, is it severely appeared that y'all were over budget on paper.
Yeah.
However, what we had, as with all departments, was a severe coding issue. So what you could blow out some sort of big figure of going, this is what, let's say the council, all right, and pick on y'all for a minute,
Yeah.
is let's say this is what they spent. However, in reality, it probably was not what y'all spent because it was coded into other departments.
Yeah.
So as a result of this coding system, this year, we should be able to track it properly and budget accordingly in the forthcoming years and so on. But to jump off Mr. Lawson for a second, is that on the, and I know y'all been picked on to some degree, and like I said, it was, the values were not correct going into the system, and the system will only tell you the values that you input. So junk in, junk out. And that's basically what we're getting, is you should get a true value this year, and then we can budget, as I said, accordingly.
Any more discussion on,
One last comment, and I'll be done, Mr. Mayor. This budget does show no reason for a tax increase to the citizens, and it's a balanced budget, which is fantastic.
Yes, sir, it is. In fact, and without taking too much time, it is a balanced budget. However, we do have some things that are gonna fluctuate within the budget, and hopefully, as I've been semi-tasked with, is while Darien is working very hard to increase cash reserves in case of an emergency, we're very close to some things, and hopefully mid-year or whenever you all decide, is that y'all are gonna find out that you're in pretty good shape.
As long as we don't hear, we don't have enough money for training, we're in good shape.
Well, and I do hope that the members of the council do get training.
Well,
We needed it.
it really
it really helps out.
was a big issue.
Okay, any more discussion on the budget? Okay, do I hear a motion, we accept it?
Make a motion, I think I made a motion a while ago.
Yeah, all in favor say aye.
You gonna say?
I think that's it.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Passed, thank you. Next item, consider contract for professional service between Coastal Regional Commission and the City of Darien. And City Manager will let you enlighten us a little more on this, but my parade is the same thing that we always got, it's just our time to renew it.
I see no problem with it at all. It's been reviewed by the city attorney, Mr. Braun. Do you concur?
I do.
I would suggest that y'all adopt it.
Okay.
Make a motion, Mr. Mayor, that we adopt it as stated.
I have a motion by Councilman Lawson, there a second.
I'll say.
Second by Councilman Skeen, any discussions? Coastal Regional Commission does do a lot for us, and helps us out with a lot of stuff, so I'm for it. Any more discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. It's carried, thank you. Next item, item C, consider requested variance setback for 900 Fort King George Drive. We will take action on that tonight. Do I hear a motion that we grant this variance?
I'll make that motion, Mr. Mayor. I reviewed the property and drove over there, looked at it. The only, I don't see where extending that variance to them can encroach on anyone at a future date and bother anybody in any way. Be it it's only city property that abuts it and it can't be used.
I have a motion, do I hear a second?
The zoning board, it already went through the zoning board.
Discussion. Some of that's gonna come up in discussion too, so I hear a second. Second by Councilman Skeen. Any discussions? Okay, on this here, and I'm gonna ask our building inspector, code enforcement officer, David Gardner, to kind of lights on this, any comment on it?
On the.
On this very light for 914 George Drive?
Yes, all he's doing is moving over 5 feet towards the road. He's still on his property. Reason basically it was granted was because there's nothing to be built on the area that he's moving over to, so there shouldn't be any problem with it.
This is a corner lot,
Yes.
and it is, next to the pavement, it's not next to another structure.
Not getting into our easements or anything, he's just moving it over 5 feet.
And, we don't have any, utilities, water lines, or anything under.
Hopefully not under his property.
We run into that before, so we won't, I always ask that question, even though I know myself it's not, but
As far as we know, we don't.
got a lot behind it, so I've got some old system under it, but still, that's what bothers us. Okay, we appreciate this.
Yes, sir.
Any other discussion?
It is a setback variance and not a encroachment variance, correct? Correct. It's just a setback.
Right.
Any more discussion? All in favor, say aye. Opposed, same. Yes, great. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Don't go, David.
David?
Hold up.
I'm gone.
Don't go.
Hey, did you, I'm sorry about that, excuse me, City Manager, did you have anything you wanted to say on that?
No, sir.
Thanks. I appreciate it. Next item, consider reappointment of Mr. Jordy Evans to the Coastal Regional Commission Council. We'll take action on this tonight. I do serve on the council with him, step beside me. He is a very good representative for us. And I think the county has already voted on him. He's their representative also. And do I hear a motion? We
Make a motion, Mr. Mayor.
Motion by Councilman Lawson, do I hear a second?
Second.
Second, Councilman Cox, any discussion? Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Did you vote on that?
Would you love one here?
Oh,
Aye.
aye.
Any opposed? All passed, thank you, ma'am. Okay, next item, and we got a little bit on this city attorney. It's item D, proposed amendment to the charter. And what did you say, we need your recommendation on that?
Well, what we've got is we have conflicting provisions with the charter and the ordinances. The charter requires 3 council members to be present and the mayor, which of course, if you were not here, Mayor Pro Tem Lysol would be sitting, and that would require 3 council members. And the code of ordinances says that 2 council members and the mayor constitute a quorum. And I think the suggestion is to go to essentially eliminate the charter provision and let the code of ordinances govern. That 2 council members and the mayor constitute a quorum.
And that's the way it was in the past, correct? I think it's still kind of worded like that in our, so we just need to.
The way it's worded right now, what you need is a super majority to conduct business, and it's pretty common to have a majority of the board conduct business, and that's what we would be going back to.
And that way, if we're running anything like we did last night, we still have to be able to have a meeting.
That's right. And now, there is a provision that calls for I believe it calls for the passage of an ordinance requires 3 votes, I believe. So if you were operating, 2 council members and the mayor would require 3 votes. So we have to look.
Require the mayor to vote.
That's right. So that would, at this stage, the first step you would take would be bringing it back to 2 council members and the mayor would constitute a quorum and could conduct business.
If everybody remember, we had when Councilman Malbasa resigned, we were kind of in a bind. Somebody wasn't here, so we wouldn't have a quorum the way it was set up. Okay. And is this going to be action tonight?
If y'all want to instruct us to begin that process, we can certainly do that. We first, and what I would suggest is quite simply a home rule ordinance changing the charter that would just delete that provision from the charter, where then the code would govern. Because we already have it in place. Our code's already in place. It says 2 council members and the mayor. So it would delete that conflicting charter provision and the code would govern.
And that's home rule? or-
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, I like the home rule.
Yes, sir.
Now, how long would that take before it becomes?
We're gonna have to pass the ordinance, correct, 2 meetings. And then we're gonna have to publish in the paper, notice of the charter change. And if you recall, we did this before, we gotta put a copy over at the Superior Court Clerk's office, we gotta have a copy here. and we have to put a synopsis and publish that in the paper on what we're doing. Essentially, the synopsis would be we're changing it to allow 2 council members and the mayor to constitute a quorum and allow them to conduct business.
That's something pretty much you and the city.
That's correct, and city clerk.
City clerk take care of course.
And then she'll forward that up to the Secretary of State's office after it's over.
Okay.
They know how to handle that, and they've covered the last charter change.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion that we follow the instruction as the attorney stated, that we eliminate the code and remain with the charter, which says the mayor and 2 council.
Okay, I have a motion by Councilman Lawson, there a second?
I will say.
Second by Councilman Skeet. Any discussion, any more discussion on this?
Yes, I want to discuss that because I've been pushing that for a long time, and it's needed for this council. As I said, it was working beautiful, and then there was some changes. Something unfortunate to me, we have a council that's out of town. We all vacation and travel. I work here with the city, Little Springs, but I take it very seriously. And I was sitting in the doctor's office with my mother in Florida. Bear in mind, we both planned it. I have almost 2 hours to spare because I had a meeting. And the rain fell, and the doctor said we need to do 1 more test. I'm human. This is my mother sitting in the doctor's chair, but I care about the city.
Family comes first.
I won't say it was difficult because I know the ultimate end was I was going to stay with my mother, but I was trying to figure out a way to get my brother, and I called my sister, can you meet me in Darien? I took my change of clothes just in case, and I couldn't make it. Suppose the same thing had happened today with any one of us. We can hold this city at hostage, not intentionally. So I love the fact that we are making a decision to have the mayor and 2 council to carry on the city's business. And with our trusted attorney, I believe we're going to be successful. Thank you.
And just like last night, we postponed this meeting for a week, and, we had the public here, and we had Miss Kathleen here, and we had no quorum. And it was very good that we did have a discussion that, that they could share, but if this was in place then, and this was a Tuesday, we'd have had a quorum, and we could have finished the meeting. So I
think we do have a dedicated board here. Like, for example, I called the city attorney, tell him I'm running late. He said I'm about 4 or 5 hours out, and I'm pushing it. And this is about 12 o'clock. And I told him I'm about 5 hours the other direction. So both of us made it here just 4 or 5 o'clock, around 5, a little after 5. But this is something that sometimes has been mentioned is out of our control. So I think this is something that we really need to consider. Any more discussion? Any more discussion? All in favor, aye? Aye. Opposed, same. Passed. Thank you. Okay, so you and the city attorney, city manager, and city clerk started on that, work on that, and we should have that completed and being able to put that in effect in 2 to 3 months.
That's correct.
Okay, that will be on the agenda for next month, also, right?
That's the first passage, that's right.
Okay. Okay. Anything else? Okay, council reports, we'll start with Councilman Cox.
4th of July is coming. I want to tell everybody to have a fantastic 4th of July. Be careful. There's going to be a lot of kids out there messing with fireworks, so please, now that they're legal in Georgia, give them adult supervision because children are getting hurt with fireworks, so please give them adult supervision. If you're going to drink, stay home. Don't get on the road, but do enjoy your 4th of July and be proud of this country because the Lord has blessed us so much. I also want to thank the council for all they've done and getting this budget prepared. They've done a fantastic job, the city manager and the city attorney. And I would like to let everyone know that I'm not going to seek re-election. This will be my last term on the city council. I'll be leaving in December. That concludes me. Mr. Parker. Thank you.
Sure, appreciate having you with us.
Thank you.
Appreciate all the hard work, dedication, and you still can't change it.
Thank you, sir.
Plenty time. Oh, Councilman Skinner.
Well, sure.
Well,
I do want to, I echoed this, and this is I think my 4th month in a row that I've asked for this. Our service delivery strategy. And I know we keep saying, well, it's up to the city manager, it's up to the county manager. But I think it's up to us, to this city council, to the county commissioners. And I make a plea to the county commissioners. Please, let's get together. If nothing else, the county commissioners, the city council, our attorney, but we need to get together. There is stuff that needs to be done. And I don't know, we hear these rumors, but this is a big deal. We have spent a lot of money, we have spent a lot of time, and there's things going on in the city and in the county. Our citizens are being double billed for services, and they don't need to be. We need to get this done, so please, let's get together and get this done. I think that, a lot of things have gone on, but we all have to work together. Our Downtown Development Authority, our Industrial Development Authority, our county commissioners, even our chamber, we all have to work together. We're what, 14,000? Maybe 14, I don't know the exact population, but we're not that big. We got great people here, and we can do this. Let's get this done, and please, let us know. And this is a plea to the county. So thank you all very much, and that concludes my report, Mr. Mayor.
I just took it was 3-session training on service delivery strategy. I will get y'all a copy of all this made up, and it will explain a lot of it to you, that what all needs to be done, how to be done. And so we are working on it. Let everybody know, because I agree with you, something needs to be done to help with our taxes. Go ahead. Councilman Locke.
I'll take a smidget of that. Councilman Steen is absolutely correct. And Mayor, I took that training, thanks to the mayor and the council for allowing me to go to the training about 2 years ago. And I think Councilman Clark, I think they both went to that same.
I went to one of them.
It was very good. It was very good and very knowledgeable. Working with the county and working with the city and compromising to make it work. Usually the county wants most, nothing wrong with that, and usually the city wants most. But they teach you how to kind of compromise. Moving forward, I definitely want to compliment, and I purposely ran in the rain because I had my own copy, and I confiscated 2 of these. You need to get one of these. Very important you get this. All right, so last one you're going to get before the 4th of July. It talks beautiful about the 4th of July, but a internationally now accredited to the city of Darien, very own editor of the Darien News, have one thing to accomplish that she accomplished that no one else has done. First newspaper in the country actually recorded in writing the original words from 1926 of the Kumbaya in the newspaper. And now I can say this because I eat, sleep, and breathe this seems like every day now. The first magazine in the world recorded the original words of the Kumbaya, as we know it, the Kumbaya. And I know Chief Editor Kathleen did a lot of work. And the reason why I know that, some of the things that I've been researching I've never seen comprised in one magazine, so she dug deep. Took a little bit of research this much, but now she has, and it's much, much more. And I'm using up all my time, but Robert Gordon, his wife's name is spelled the same way with an A on the end of that, his daughter. And Robert Gordon, Kathleen, you didn't find this one out yet, I don't think. But his father-in-law name was Robert, so I think I'm one up on you, I think. Okay? And there's much more to authenticate it. And I won't tell it all because it will be coming out at the jail. But it's very important to know we can authenticate for 100% sure. They lived here, Kathleen brought some of it out. But I actually have the marriage certificate because it was in the World and Library of Congress saying, well, we don't know, maybe he passed through. We know exactly who he married. Thank you, Kathleen, for that. But we know exactly where and who married them, and even where he died. And we definitely know where he's buried. Probably just maybe 2 of us in this room know exactly where he's buried. So I wanted to share that much, and I have to close on a good note. Red, white, and blue, I decided to wear my tie, 4th of July, and it's going to be a great celebration. Hopefully y'all can go out to that. But I want to compliment our mayor. Drum roll, he has been officially elected by his peers throughout this region and the state. He is the 3rd vice chair of this region. It's a position, it's a covenant position. People try to run for it and jock for it, but he accomplished that goal. So I would like for each of us, if you don't mind, let's give him a hand. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
That's why Ms. Russell received the top award for the, and I forgot the exact name of that award, but
Yes.
that's why she got that top award, because she digs into everything and makes sure everything.
Congress, that's too big, I have to break it on there.
Go ahead.
This is congressional, this is on Capitol Hill in Washington DC that will remain in the archives forever. Right up there with Abraham Lincoln papers. I'm very serious, it will remain there forever. Okay, but this is a great accomplishment, we're proud of it.
And now we know why she got it.
Okay.
She digs deep and comes up with it, okay?
And the mayor stole your glory.
No, I'm just going to remind you. We work a little good together. Mine's going to be kind of short. I do want to congratulate Ms. Captain Russell for that. That also, tell my wife happy 31st anniversary. She's been blessed with me.
Let's see that.
Also, Mayor Pro Tem late happy birthday on the same day, so I can keep them pretty much. But my main thing I want to talk, he talked about his tie. I got my tie, my red, white, and blue. That's like we've all heard of the Disney princess. That's the Darien princess. That's my daughter's. That is a Father's Day gift I got when we get back out today. So us fathers do appreciate things and keep them. But I am really excited, and I'm sure everybody knows what I'm excited about. Have y'all been over to Veterans Memorial Park? We got red, white, and blue swing sets. We got playground equipment. Now I'm waiting, and I was just reassured that my mulch cover will be here and get it all scattered out. I do ask people to keep the kids off from it right now, because when the ground was leveled out, there was an old place there that it's got a bunch of broken glass and stuff. We got to get up before the kids can get up. I'd hate to see a kid get hurt on it, but we have gotten veterans really interested in it. That the American Legion or veterans are coming out to actually do the labor part for building our pavilion. The city's going to supply them with the material. And we do have a contractor that's kind of overseeing everything, but we in the very near future, we're going to have another ribbon cutting. But I want to call all of the veterans in the county together and let they have all of them that can be there today, because to let everybody know that is everyone's park, and it's something that we need to be proud of, the same as we are proud of our veterans. And I want to thank all my city employees. I was talking to them the other day at one of our trainings, and because I referred to them as my children, I told them, they stopped and said, they never thought of it. I don't mean anything disrespectful. I think of all city employees. Some of them's a good bit older than me. But I think of all of them as my children. And I do want to thank all of them for working good together and all the hard work and everything that's been going on. I want to thank the Darien News for covering everything. Chamber done a great job with their chamber dinner. TDA is doing good on their second, Saturday. I just think the town is really, like Darien is really coming a long way, so it's gonna take support of everybody. And I wanna end it, what I always say, if you see a piece of paper laying on the ground, where you throw it there, not pick it up. Let's try to make this a beautiful place. And that's mine, city manager.
Mayor is one of your children.
Yes, sir. Hey, cut your allowance out that way.
No, sir, I don't have anything to say.
City attorney?
Yeah, just briefly, the county attorney representing the election board and I have got a new elections contract for them to conduct our municipal elections coming up in the fall. We finalized that, we'll have that to you at the next meeting for passage. I anticipate they'll pass it. Very similar to our past agreements with just a couple of changes with some issues that the board raised that we talked about before. And what made me think of that, of course, was, we'll have it on the next agenda, but what made me think about it after Mr. Cox's announcement just a few minutes ago. It'll take a short time to work with you. I've enjoyed it. You're extremely professional member of this board. Can't say anything when I'm a little disappointed by your decision, but I understand. Families come first, and I understand the decision. That's all I've got tonight.
Just before we end up, want to kind of get with our drainage committee, is Councilor Lawson, Councilor Skeen, and they worked on a few things, got a few things, but I found out, got a couple more complaints that we do need to get worked out, but I do appreciate all that hard work y'all doing. I'm proud to say that we do have a, Darien has their own planning and zoning board, and I've had about 7 or 8 people come together, and I got to get with the rest of the council and city manager and attorney that they want to reactivate the Darien historical presentation, so maybe we can get together with the county. Okay, we do have an executive session. Is that right? Okay, so y'all can hang around a little while, hopefully a little while, or join us at our next meeting. Do I hear a motion that we go into executive session?
I make that motion.
Motion, do I hear a second?
Second.
Any discussion?